welcome to part 3 of the Map of the Month video workshops, and we're going to be continuing along on a USA map. This is our third video, and if you look at what we've done so far, we've done quite a bit. We've actually completed the Southwest region last video. I said we would jump into the Northeast region today on this video, mainly because it's a little bit more challenging to label, and I want to go over some of the challenges that we're going to have labeling some of these very small states. So I would suggest having a sharp pencil, or if you have a mechanical pencil, which is very fine lead, and you might be able to write a little bit thinner with that. So all right, let's look at what I've done as far as shading the region. I used a red to show the inner edge of the Northeast region, and I used sort of a peach color for the Southeast region. Now, some schools do it differently. Some schools include Maryland and Delaware as part of the Southeast. Others include it in the Northeast. So I've included it in the Northeast for this map, but you can do it either way. You could just change the shading if you need to include those two in the Southeast. Okay, so you can see I used a peach color to go around the inner edge of that Southeast region. And I want to also note that if you notice, I kind of didn't go too close to the lines in some of the along some of the states, only because I do know that some of these, I should have mentioned this in the last video actually, but you can see I left a little bit of white between the region color and the green of Mexico, only because I know that there's a river there, and I'm going to be adding a little blue in there. I want the same thing over here. I know there's going to be a river eventually, so I'm leaving a little bit of white so that I can eventually get that blue color. Just thinking ahead, I want to mention that. Okay, let's go into the Northeast and actually start labeling some of these very small states. One technique we can use is called a leader line, which allows you to kind of bring your the word that you're labeling away from that state. For instance, let me just do Rhode Island, which is the smallest state, and I'm going to use a leader line, which will allow me to just kind of put the label a little bit off to the side. Now, I think I'm going to write kind of small too. I'm going to attempt to write the whole name of the state. I'll do it on 2 lines. But you can see I'm not writing too large. Another thing you could do is you could also use a 2-letter abbreviation for some of the states. Like for instance, Massachusetts. You could just put MA, which is the 2-letter abbreviation. I'm going to attempt to write it out. So let me just continue along with Massachusetts. I think it will extend a little bit into the ocean area, but that's okay. It's a long word in a pretty small state. Let's just go over the spelling of that real quick. It's Massachusetts, Massachusetts. So I used the leader line for Rhode Island. There's no way I would be able to fit it in there. Okay, I'm going to also label Connecticut using that leader line. I think if I write it right about here, Connecticut, CONNECTICUT. Now, I also left a little bit of room to write the word Providence for Rhode Island. I'm going to put a little star, and then I'm going to write Providence for the capital of Rhode Island. I'm a little close with Connecticut, but maybe I'll write that. I'm going to erase that and write it a little bit lower, just so it doesn't get in the way of the word Providence. That's why you need that eraser handy. You can always go over it later with a pen, but for now you want to use a pencil. So let me just write it a little bit lower. And it won't be interfering with that word Providence. Yeah, I think that's a little better. Okay. There we go. You can always go over it a second time if you have to. All right. Connecticut, let's do the capital while we're at it too. We can actually put a little star beneath Connecticut and write the name of that, which if you're not sure, just look over on the edge. Here it is right here, Hartford, Connecticut. I didn't have to look up Providence because we live in Rhode Island here, and I knew that that was the capital. All right, you can hear that phone ringing, but we're not going to answer it because we want to keep going with the map. Now, we've got we can use a little leader line to point out that's Connecticut right there, and Hartford as well. Okay, good. Let's go to a little bit easier state up in the northeast. This is Maine up in the top, and I think you'll be able to fit it right in the state. M-A-I. Pick the widest part of the state to write it. That way you'll be able to fit it easily. Okay, and the capital is, let's look along the edge, try to find it. I believe it's right here, Augusta, Maine, just like the month of August with an A at the end. Now you can see, notice how I'm trying to keep the words level as much as possible. Sometimes you have to angle it a little bit, but I'm continuing along with that method of keeping things level. And why don't we color those little stars that we've done so far. Hartford, Connecticut. Providence, Rhode Island. Oh, we didn't label Boston. Let's label Boston. Write it right here. I'll use my mechanical pencil for this one. Okay. Here's Augusta, here's Boston. Now, for these two remaining New England states, I think I might go with the abbreviation, just to give that as an example. We could try to write it above if we had to, but maybe we'll just write, for New Hampshire, let's just put a nice capital NH for New Hampshire. And Vermont would be VT. Now, from doing this map before, I'm pretty sure I can fit the word Concord, New Hampshire, right on the map, right on the state. If I write small enough, I think I can fit it. C-O-N-C-O-R-D. If you're having trouble fitting that, you could use the leader line method again. But I think that fit pretty well. I'm going to use a leader line for Montpelier, the capital of Vermont. That one is definitely going to be a bit of a large word to fit. And if we look on the edge of the map, it's down here. Let me turn it so you can see. It's a bit of a long word. M-O-N-T-P-E-L-I-E-R, Montpelier. And I'm going to write it just north of that state. I'll try to fit it in here like this. So you can see that the Northeast region is probably the most challenging part of the map as far as labeling. It can be very tight. There's a lot of large words to write in very small areas. So make use of your leader lines. You can really make your map a lot easier to read if you do that. And take advantage of using the abbreviation once in a while too, if you think it is okay. Vermont and New Hampshire. Okay, let me just make sure I got everything. I want to go over these states, these New England states. Maine, Augusta. New Hampshire, Concord. Vermont, Montpelier. Massachusetts, Boston. Rhode Island, Providence. Connecticut, Hartford. Okay, those are the hardest states within the Northeast to label. As you get into some of these bigger states, it's going to be a lot easier. Let's do New York. I think I could fit it on one line right across. Okay, and the capital of New York is Albany. Let's double check the spelling on that. There it is right here. Albany. Make sure you get that correctly spelled. Okay, I can add another little dab of yellow to that capital star. All right, and let's see, we've got a few more states to do. Why don't we tackle the next one just here, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. Okay. See how much time we have left. Oh, I didn't set the timer. Okay. Pennsylvania. The capital of Pennsylvania is Harrisburg. Why don't we go ahead and label Harrisburg? I'm just going to end up writing it a little bit above the star. Okay. Harrisburg. Okay, a little bit of yellow. How are we doing for time? I think that might be a good place to stop. The Northeast has taken a little bit of time. If you want to stick to that 10-minute mapping time, let's take a little break from the Northeast, and we'll talk a little bit more about the few remaining states in the Northeast before we go on to the Southeast. Okay, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.